Good morning, and welcome to the Black Mesa Transit System. This automated train is provided for the security and convenience of the Black Mesa Research Facility personnel.
The original Half-Life is a game unlike any other, even its own sequels. Its gameplay and storytelling were revolutionary for the time and still impressive today. I find that it's aged much better than most other shooters of the time, like the original Doom games. This is also seen in the visuals. While I find that older games that tried to be more photorealistic in their art direction generally look outdated and frankly ugly today, Half-Life's art style is more akin to action figures or a comic book of some kind. I think if the game was released today as a retro-style shooter, it'd still be praised just as much as it was back then, if not more. It is my favorite game of all time, and I hope that this video will inspire you to play it if you haven't.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late.
You are Gordon Freeman, a theoretical physicist working in the Anomalous Materials Division of the Black Mesa Research Facility, specializing in teleportation technology. You arrive late for work and are notified to get into your hazard suit and enter the test chamber.
Hello. Gordon, here you are. We just sent the sample down to the test chamber.
We've boosted the anti-mass spectrometer to 105%. Bit of a gamble, but we need the extra resolution.
The administrator is very concerned that we get a conclusive analysis of today's sample. I gather they went to some lengths to get it.
They're waiting for you, Gordon, in the test chamber.
You learn that today will be a departure from normal procedure, but everything should be fine. You enter the test chamber and activate the anti-mass spectrometer. A platform is then raised, carrying a crystal sample that you are instructed to push into the beams. However, it goes catastrophically wrong. You are flung in and out of space and in between dimensions before ending up back in Black Mesa, now in ruin and overrun by aliens.
Why didn't you listen? We tried to warn them. I never thought I'd see a resonance cascade, let alone create one. Gordon, you're alive. Thank God for that hazard suit. I'm afraid to move him and all our phones are out. Please, get to the surface as soon as you can and let someone know we're stranded down here. You'll need me to activate the retinal scanners. I'm sure the rest of the science team will gladly help you.
Man, see that sword? Man, am I glad to see you. What the hell are these things? And why are they wearing science team uniforms?
You learn that the military is coming to save you, but the next thing you see is a Marine gunning down a scientist. The Marines aren't here to save you, they're here to silence you. Continuing onward, now faced by both aliens and Marines, you learn that the military aborted a rocket launch that would have helped to contain the invasion. So, you make your way to the launch site and launch the satellite. However, though weakened, the gateway is still being held open by something from the other side. Your next goal is to make it to the Lambda complex, where the scientists could find a way to close the gate, but you are captured by the Marines.
Get him! Nice hit. Alright, we got him.
Where are we taking this Freeman guy? Topside for questioning. What the hell for? We got him. Let's kill him now. And if they find the body? Body? What body?
Luckily, they do not kill you instantly, but instead throw you into the trash compactor. Though stripped of your weapons, you do manage to get out and continue on your way through the abandoned residue processing facility. You end up in a secret part of the Black Mesa facility, where you learn that not only were the border world and the aliens known to the science team, but they had actively been collecting and experimenting on them.
Hey, it's no good up there. It's all sealed off. The only way out would be to find someone with scanner access who can open the front door. I'm pretty sure there's a few scientists hiding somewhere in the labs. Maybe with both of us looking, we can track them down and get them to let us out.
What is this thing? Some kind of weapon?
Put that down. It's a prototype.
Why are they using it?
It's much too unpredictable. Don't let it overcharge.
What do you mean, over?
Well, I'll let you know, but I'm warning you, it's hell out there. It's completely under military control. You'll have to sneak and fight your way from one end to the other, and I don't expect you'll meet many of our peers along the way. But if you do survive and somehow make it across the base, you'll end up at the Lambda complex, where the rest of the science team has taken shelter. I wouldn't venture there myself, but I will let them know that you are coming.
Reaching the surface, you find that the way to the Lambda complex has become a war zone between the aliens and the Marines.
Come in, Cooper. Do you copy? Forget about Freeman. We're abandoning the base. If you have any last bomb targets, mark them on the tactical map. Otherwise, get the hell out of there. Repeat, we are pulling out and commencing airstrikes. Give us targets or get below.
Finally arriving at the Lambda complex, you find the surviving members of the Lambda team and are informed the only way to stop the invasion is to go through the gate and kill whatever's holding it open.
Freeman, you finally found us.
So this is the guy. We thought you'd never make it.
This is the supply depot for our first survey team. Quite a few handsome specimens were collected from the border world and brought back this way, before the survey members started being collected themselves, that is. We suspect there is an immense portal over there, created by the intense concentration of a single powerful being. You will know it when you see it. I hate to say this, Gordon, but you must kill it if you can.
Yeah, you'd better kill it.
Of course, you owe us nothing, Mr. Freeman, but you've come this far. You know as much about these creatures as anyone.
Enough to know that if you don't wipe it out, there won't be much for you to come home to.
Yes. So, if you're willing, my colleague is waiting for you at the main portal controls. He will open the gates for you, Mr. Freeman. Do hurry. It's ready! You must go! Now!
In the border world named Zen, you are faced with even more aliens and living hostile environments. You fight your way through the Zenian forces before coming face to face with the being behind the invasion.
Gordon Freeman in the flesh. Or rather, in the hazard suit. I took the liberty of relieving you of your weapons. Most of them were government property. As for the suit, I think you've earned it. The border world, Zen, is in our control for the time being, thanks to you. Quite a nasty piece of work you managed over there. I am impressed. That's why I'm here, Mr. Freeman. I have recommended your services to my employers. And they have authorized me to offer you a job. They agree with me that you have limitless potential. You've proved yourself a decisive man, so I don't expect you'll have any trouble deciding what to do. If you're interested, just step into the portal, and I will take that as a yes. Otherwise, well, I can offer you a battle you have no chance of winning. Rather an anticlimax after what you've just survived. Time to choose. Wisely done, Mr. Freeman. I will see you up ahead.
The gameplay of Half-Life is unlike pretty much any other game I've played, and I play a fair share of shooters. The game expects you to think about every action you make, whether it be combat or puzzle solving. For example, in the chapter Blast Pit, you're faced with a tentacle monster that can instantly kill you and you can't kill it. The silver lining is that the thing is blind. What do you have in your arsenal that can be used as a distraction? Oh. Using your grenades, you're able to keep it distracted just long enough to sneak by and turn on the power to a big laser to vaporize it. Just like Wallace Breen says in Half-Life 2,
"This is not some agent provocateur or highly trained assassin we are discussing. Gordon Freeman is a theoretical physicist who had hardly earned the distinction of his PhD at the time of the Black Mesa incident."
You are not a superhuman, and so all combat encounters must be handled with caution and planning. Something I appreciate about Half-Life is that it delivers on what most games cannot, and that is the fact that the enemies are smart, most of the time. Half-Life is not an easy game. The Marines are programmed to behave like a squadron of soldiers, the alien slaves are programmed to be efficient killers, the alien grunts are programmed to be heavy hitters. Every enemy type acts differently and each provides a unique challenge. Strategy is a big part of the combat, and part of that is the weapons. Every weapon in the game is useful. Even by the end, you'll still find use for your crowbar and starting pistol. Enemies react to weapons differently, and that can be used to your advantage. For example, say you're low on ammo and there's a Marine in your way. You can use stealth to plant a trip mine nearby, then throw a grenade. The Marine will run from the grenade and end up hitting the mine. That's a very basic example, but it demonstrates that all situations can be effectively dealt with when you think on your feet. Like the old slogan for the game says, run, think, shoot, live. Half-Life has some of the strongest atmosphere out of any game I've played. The visuals and sound design are both masterful at conveying the tone of whatever situation you're in. Black Mesa is dreadfully industrial and futuristic, giving the illusion of imminent danger. The halls are dark and claustrophobic, parts of the building collapsing in on themselves as you approach. This is not a safe place to be, even for the surviving scientists and security. The sounds of the enemies are odd and inhuman sounding, even for the Marines. Then you make it to Zen, The border world is completely and utterly unearthly. You go from caverns of living flesh to an H.R. Giger-esque factory, seeming to be a fusion of mechanical and organic matter. Everything is so, for lack of a better word, yucky. It's a sight to behold on your first playthrough. Half-Life is not a horror game, but I find it more unsettling than most modern horror, simply because of its deliberate and masterful use of atmosphere building. Back in 1998, shooters didn't really have strong stories. Sure, they had plots, but they were more so bullet-fest with some loose story elements to tie the thing together. Half-Life, on the other hand, has a very rich story told in effective ways. Information is either conveyed to you by survivors or you witness things directly. The game is never slowed by its story either. There aren't any long cutscenes to sit through. These people do not want to have a heart-to-heart with Gordon. They want to survive, so they give Gordon information as efficiently as possible. Not only is this refreshing, even nowadays, but it keeps the pace of the game consistent even when there's not much happening. Now, unfortunately, I must go over the not-so-good parts of the game. Starting off simple, I find myself encountering a lot of stuttering and audio glitching. It might just be my computer, but it's still bothersome.
Down through, sir. Look, sir, in the barrel today.
Thus have to wait until after the test.
Moving on to something more gameplay-focused, we unfortunately have most of the Zen chapters. Considering how fun the chapters leading up to Zen were, it's hard for me to imagine what went wrong in designing the levels for the border world. Everything moves so slowly and brings the pace of the game to a screeching halt. Beyond that, the levels themselves are not designed well for the way the game works. Remember what I said about how rushing into combat isn't a good plan? Well, Zen forces you into multiple combat encounters where you're given nothing but a bunch of enemies in an open area with little time to plan and no cover to duck behind. This would be bad in a game where you were capable of soaking up bullets, but again, Half-Life is not like most shooters, and so whatever fun could be had is nearly drowned out by frantically trying to find an object to hide behind. Outside of combat, the whole area is filled with poor level design choices, like the entrance to the cave at the start of Interloper being almost imperceivable against the monotone ground. Zen, however, is not my least favorite part of the game. That honor goes to residue processing. The whole chapter is confusing platforming and winding maze-like hallways. Again, just not fun to experience. In conclusion, Half-Life, while not being perfect, is my absolute favorite video game and a classic. It's a must-play for anyone interested in gaming, and I'd even recommend it to people who aren't. The passion, creativity, and talent behind it are evident in every aspect. Though Half-Life 2 does some things better, I still prefer the original. Everything from the gameplay to the music is top-notch, and I cannot recommend it enough. Thank you for watching. I haven't done anything of worth with this channel in a long time, and knowing me, I likely won't for another while. But I felt inspired to make this. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and leave a comment if you want. Discuss the video on what you agree or disagree with. With that, I will now go. Bye-bye.